Good evening, everybody. How are you tonight? Oh, it's good to see you. Good to be back. And yay, it's here for Story and Art. I'm back home for a little bit, um, but we leave again tomorrow. So I have I know I have a premiere scheduled for everybody on Sunday because we will be probably in Glacier. And in Glacier National Park, there is no cell coverage, absolutely none, no Wi Fi, nothing. So I already recorded a show and put it on for premiere. And then Thursday, I'm going to be in either Yellowstone or um, is it Yellowstone I'm gonna be in, or I'm gonna be in the Badlands? One of the 2, something around there. So, I'm gonna schedule one for that day too because, you know, tomorrow starts our trip across the country. Hey, Linda is here, but I've missed you guys. So, Linda's here, yay! And Tamara is here too. Oh, what did Tamara do? Sprains, typing left-handed. I've sprained my right hand, I think. Oh, in both hands. I was using the shovel digging out weeds. That'll do it. That would do those things. One time had a ganglion that I had to have. Oh God, in my wrist. It was so sore. Seems to make it throb more. Yay. Sharp pain though wakes me up if I move it the wrong way. But the knuckle is large, yeah. Mm. Oh, that's painful when those joints hurt like that. That's when I have to cut out all nightshades. When my joints start to swell and hurt like that, I have to cut out all nightshades in my food. Like no tomatoes, no potatoes, nothing that's a nightshade. And then it works. It helps. At least it helps for me. Uh and yeah, Linda, how is your shoulder doing? You were hoping it would fix itself. Ah, yes, that miracle cure that we women all think is going to happen. It'll fix itself. Yeah. So I'll give you guys an example of that. Oh, it'll fix itself. See that little finger? How crooked it is? I broke it when I was little. My mom thought I was trying to get out of a piano recital, but I broke it completely. You see how crooked? Broke it right there. Dink. Yeah. Oh, it'll fix itself. Yeah, it fixed itself in a crooked way. Oh my gosh. Not likely. Yeah, no problem. No potatoes, tomatoes, or green peppers. I don't eat nightshades. Yeah. Anytime I do that, I always have to cut certain things out. I can eat cherry tomatoes, but I can't eat like the full big ones. And I can eat limited number of cherry tomatoes. But yeah, the regular tomatoes, tomato sauce, spaghetti sauce. Oh my gosh, I can wake up the next morning going, why am I doing that? So I had a great time in Phoenix with the kids. We had a hoot. And as you see this story, I did a premiere for you guys from down there. I kind of read it poolside. We had just gotten out of the pool and it was hot and everything. And I said, uh, yeah, they'll be okay with my hair being a goofball and everything. But I was really kind of pleased because the sound recording I used was not on these glasses, but on my Meta glasses, on my Ray-Bans, and it was really good. So that's kind of a nice aspect to have because I'll be able to hopefully do that on the road. Because I'm going to record one more tonight after I get off this, one or two more. But I have to have them. Yeah, I could tell you by the pool. Yeah, the kids were in the pool just hooting and yaying and stuff, and it was nice because it had noise cancellation and everything. Thank you, Ecamm, for that. That was awesome. So anyway, tonight I came across a story today. I went to my Libby on my library, and all my books had been returned. I didn't have any. So I did a search and I went by most recent added, most recently published and most recently added to Libby to the libraries that I have access to. And I came across a couple of them. One of them, I thought for sure I had read it to you, but I'm going to read it anyway. Probably the second one. But the first one, I was a little skeptical because, well, I tend to be a little skeptical when it is an actor that has decided to write children's books. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I came across one another time and thought, oh, this sounds cute. And I was like, oh, no, it just didn't. It just didn't work. This one I really like. Um, it's called Just Because, and it's by Matthew McConaughey. Yes. Whew, yeah. And he's an interesting person as it is outside of being an actor and some of the things that he's done. I've always found some of his when he's been on podcasts to be really interesting and just a little bit outside the realm of your stereotypical what you think of, and that's terrible that I'm going with stereotypes, but that was kind of the thing. Man, but you get past that and occasionally you'll find a gem. And this one was one that I really liked. And so I hope you guys are going to like it. Now, the illustrator is um, what is her name? Why do I not have her name right here? Renee Correa or Corilla. And so a little bit about her, because you can find all kinds of stuff about Matthew McConaughey, but here is Renee Corilla, author and illustrator. Good vibes only, she says. I create whimsical art and stories that encourage kids and grown up kids, that's us, to spread kindness and appreciate the wonder of the world around them. Doesn't it sound like it fits with what we go for here? As a child, I thoroughly enjoyed getting lost in busy illustrations and being surprised by story endings. When I discovered I could make a career of storytelling, there was no turning back. Today, I make art for kids and grown up kids alike. Everything a direct reflection of the world I want to live in. I do my best to create relatable characters, fun pictures for readers to explore, and stories that spark conversations. She says, even though I began my career as an animator, it seems I was always in the vicinity of children's books. My first job was at Boston based animation studio called Soup to Nuts, where I assisted the character designer of the Discovery Kids TV show, Time Warp Trio. Not long after my contract ended, a new opportunity opened up at Fablevision Studios, a children's educational multimedia company founded by author illustrator Peter H. Reynolds. Oh, Peter H. Reynolds. He's did Ish and a bunch of other ones too that we've read. I know he did Ish. He's a really good author. I worked at Fablevision for 10 years as a lead artist, designing all kinds of interactives such as online games, board games, software books, museum kiosks, websites, animated web series, and more. She says, I often refer to my time at Fablevision as the incubation period because it was there, surrounded by like minded creatives, where I began to hone in on what I love most about art making sequential storytelling. I even met my husband at Fablevision, so it was truly a life changing time. She says, in the decade that followed, I illustrated over 60 books for kids, 8 of which have also authored. And I had the opportunity to work with some amazing folks in publishing who encouraged me to steer my creativity to new directions. Above all, it's an absolute joy to create books and then share them with kids who return that joy tenfold. Wow. She's gotten top 10 graphic novel pick for Flower Garden, kids indie books and a Crayola read along. Just Because is the book I'm going to read. Now her website's pretty cool. You put in her name, and she has here a portfolio of stuff that she's done, which is fun to see. But what she also does on the main page is she has her books, but then down here she has classroom resources, which is really kind of fun. She has activity sheets and coloring pages and kind of things on how to make them. Uh, Art prints for your homes, everyday art, holiday cards, all things. She has a thing about sketchbooking, Bunny in the Weeds on YouTube. So Renee Carilla, she is the illustrator of today's book, which is called Just Because. Now, let me, oh, come on. Oh, that's the program. Let me move me up. Here we go. So just because, hang on. So just because really kind of hit me because, or well, it spoke to me mainly because this is a little story about my mom. Oftentimes when I would ask her why do I have to do that? Why? And she'd say, because. And I'd go, well, why? Because. And she would say, because. And that was oftentimes her response, because. And if I pushed and pushed, I sometimes got, because I said so. If I got the because I said so, I kind of usually clued in and stopped. But oftentimes I really remember the answer being because. I can look back on that now and smile and laugh and think of it as one of my mom's ways that she had about her. I didn't think I smiled so much about it when I was a kid because I wanted an answer or I wanted to get out of doing something. But just because was kind of mom's response to things a lot of ways. So this is Just Because by Matthew McConaughey and illustrated by Renee Carilla. I really love the illustrations in this. They're just so fun and kind of lighthearted. So anyway, it's a conversation back and forth, and he has some real interesting insights about our response to things. And that's what this Just Because is almost a book. It's about responses that kids might have in some ways and how we think. And it just made me think a lot. So I hope you enjoy it. Let's see what you guys. Just because they threw a dart doesn't mean that it's stuck. Just because I've got skills doesn't mean there is no luck. Just because they let you down doesn't mean you gotta get low. Just because they're clumsy doesn't mean they have no flow. Just because you answer doesn't mean you heed the call. Just because I'm at the top doesn't mean I cannot fall. Just because I let go doesn't mean that I stop climbing. Just because I mean it doesn't mean that I'm not lying. Just because I'm finished doesn't mean that I'm done. Just because you got the gold doesn't mean that you won. Just because you wrote it doesn't mean that I read it. Just because I did it again doesn't mean I don't regret it. Just because you can pull it off doesn't mean you should do it. Just because you failed doesn't mean you blew it. Just because they say it's so doesn't mean it happened to me. Just that's how I see it, how you see it, and what will come to be. Just because you threw shade doesn't mean I'm out of the sun. Just because they shut me down doesn't mean I have not won. Just because you're wailing doesn't mean that you're a crier. Just because I lied doesn't mean that I'm a liar. Just because they can choose doesn't mean you have a choice. Just because they don't hear you doesn't mean you have no voice. Just because it's silent doesn't mean that it's not loud. Just because you're alone doesn't mean there's not a crowd. Just because I'm dirty doesn't mean I can't get clean. Just because you're nice doesn't mean you can't get mean. Just because I'm going in circles doesn't mean that I'm dizzy. And just because I'm sitting still doesn't mean that I'm not busy. Just because we're friends doesn't mean that you can burn me. Just because I'm stubborn doesn't mean that you can't turn me. Just because I forgive you doesn't mean that I still trust. There's what you do. There's what I do. And yours is not my must. Just because it's fiction doesn't mean it can't be true. Just because you want one more doesn't mean that you need two. Just because that you're a bully doesn't mean that you're strong. Just because it felt right then doesn't mean it won't feel wrong. Just because a hand is clenched doesn't mean that it's a fist. Just because I'd rather not doesn't mean I don't take risks. Just because I'm in the race doesn't mean I'm fully ready. Just because you're shaking doesn't mean that you're not steady. Just because you follow doesn't mean you're not a leader. Just because I keep winning doesn't mean that I'm a cheater. Just because we disagree doesn't mean that you're not right. And just because it's dark doesn't mean that it's night. Just because the sun has set doesn't mean it will not rise, because every day is a gift, each one a new surprise. Believe it. And that's his dedicated to my kids, your kids, and the kids in all of us. We're all as young as we're ever going to be. So let's just keep learning. I love it. I absolutely love that story. Yes, my mom would say, because I said so. That was her final one because I said so. Oh, did you watch The Witches by Roald Dahl? Oh my gosh, that's so good. That's so good. The book was always so good. And then the BFG is really fun. It's a fun one to watch at Halloween too. I was trying to talk my granddaughter into watching it with me. She wanted to, but Lachlan wasn't sure about it. James and the Giant's Peach is pretty interesting. Matilda is the one that they did with the live action one with what's her face's Trunchbull. Oh, the British actress. I can't remember her name, but that was really good. But The Witches is so good. Yes, have a salt pool. Annalena and Philip do. They have a saltwater pool. It's really nice. Yep, I loved it. I'm glad you liked that. Yes, anything Roald Dahl did was really good. There's a wonderful book that he wrote. It's his autobiography called Solo. And if you ever get a chance, um, it's a really wonderful book. Uh, his autobiography about his life, and he was a very interesting person. Very, very interesting. But anyway, that was Matthew McConaughey's endeavor into children's literature, into picture books. I enjoyed that. I I really liked the way he put those juxtapositions of things and had them one against the other, but how they fit. I thought that was very clever and well done, and something that kids of all ages could see and understand. Yeah. The gal from Hidden Figures was in it. Oh, yes. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll have to watch that. Anyway, so the next story I have for you, I do have one more. I'm actually got one, and I don't need to go into the author and illustrators because we have talked about Jory John and Pete Oswald. And my records in my checkout of Libby didn't say I had checked this one out. So if I've read this to you already, I apologize, but it's a good one. And it is called The Good Egg. You know, there's a whole series of these egg books that he did, and they're just fun. This is the creators of The Bad Seed, and this is The Good Egg. And I thought it went along with Matthew McConaughey's book of Just Because, about, how we think of ourselves and what we do. The Good Egg by Jory John and Pete Oswald. Oh, hello. I was just rescuing this cat. You know why? Well, because I'm a good egg. A very good egg. It's true. I do all kinds of good things like I'll carry your groceries, I'll water your plants, I'll change your tires, I'll paint your house. And if you need any help whatsoever, I'm your egg. I've always been a good egg. It's been this way from the start, even in my earliest days. Back at the store, there were a dozen of us living together under one recycled roof. There was Meg and Peg and Greg and Clegg and Shell and Shelley and Sheldon and Shelby and Egbert and Frank and other Frank. The other 11 eggs weren't all on their best behavior. They weren't exactly good. They ignored their bedtime. They only ate sugary cereal. They threw tantrums. They cried for no reason. They broke their stuff on purpose. Meanwhile, I tried to take charge. I tried to fix their bad behavior. I tried to keep the peace because I was a good egg. A very good egg. Nobody seemed to care, though. Every night I was exhausted. My head felt scrambled. Then one fateful morning, I noticed some cracks in my shell. Yikes! They were everywhere. My doctor said it was from all the pressure I was putting on myself, the pressure of making sure everybody was good as me. I was cracking up, literally. Something had to be done. I'd had enough. I told Meg and Peg and Greg and Clegg and Shell and Shelley and Sheldon and Shelby and Egbert and Frank and the other Frank that I was leaving. I can't be the only good egg in a bad carton, I said. Blah, 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 they replied. I left that night. I wandered from town to town. The hours became days. The days became weeks. I lost track of time. I was alone. Out there on the road under the stars. I really tried to focus on myself and what I needed. I took walks. I read books. I floated in the river. I wrote in my journal. I found simple moments to be quiet. I breathed in, I breathed out. I even started painting. For once, I found time for me. And guess what? Little by little, the cracks in my shell started to heal. My head no longer felt scrambled. I started to feel like myself again. So I made a big decision. I'm returning to my old carton and my friends. Besides, I'm kind of lonely out here. This time I know what I need to do. I'll try not to worry so much. I'll be good to my fellow eggs while also being good to myself. Here we go. Everybody missed me. I missed them too. Hello, Meg. Howdy, Peg. Hey, Greg. Greetings, Clegg. What's up, Shell? Aloha, Shelly. Hey, yo, Sheldon. Hey, Shelby. Good day, Egbert. What's happening, Frank? Howdy do, other Frank. Sure, every once in a while, somebody's still a little bit bad. But it's not like before. Here's what I realized. The other eggs aren't perfect. And I don't have to be either. I'm okay with that. Yep, the old carton is back together. We're a solid dozen again. It's good to be home. And that's The Good Egg by Jory Johns and Pete Oswald. Oh, I know. Yes. Anyway, I just love Jory John's whole series of that, and then it's fun, and then the Renee Carilla that did the Matthew McConaughey book, her illustrations were really fun to go with that too. Let's see. What do I have? I wrote some notes for myself to remind myself. Okay, so on the road. I will be gone for a month. Yeah, longer than I've ever been gone on anything. And we're driving across country. So, end of September, I'm going to be in New Hampshire for Creator Camp for 4 days. We're hitting Glacier and Little Bighorn and Yellowstone and Devil's Tower and the Badlands and Crazy Horse National Monument. A lot of these, and then once we leave Badlands, then it's kind of like a long stretch across the middle of the country. Nebraska and all those guys, they're kind of like, oh, states that literally are just straight. And for a girl from the mountains and the sea, when it's just straight through cornfields or wheat fields, it's kind of like, oh. So those days will, well, I don't, we're planning on not driving too many hours in a day, but it's still, we need to get there. And then we have some areas to avoid. Like, I don't want to go through Chicago and I don't want to go through Detroit. And so we'll get where we're going to go. And then after that, on the way home, we're going to take a route that will try to hit some Carnegie libraries that are still libraries and some that are galleries now or historic locations. We were going to try to hit them on the way over, but it's going to be a lot. It would take a lot more drive time than we have to do that. So, it's going to have to just be that. Let's send Lou what I have done. And so, Tamara and every artist, you can still send your stuff to my email. And if I'm going to be able to do a live, I'll get it in on a live. If not, if I do a premiere one, if I'm someplace where I can record a premiere, then I'll include it in that. So yeah, still send stuff in. Let's see, what did I do? Oh, I took Layla and Lachlan to a place called As You Wish, which was one of those pottery painting places. And they had a hoot fun time. They'd never done that before. Lachlan got to paint a spider, and Layla did a basketball because she's full out into basketball. So it was a good. Let's see. I was down there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I was down there for 5 days, and it was wonderful, and to spend time with them and had a good time. Yeah, she's going to be 13 in October, and Lachlan's going to be 8. Yeah. Oh my goodness. They're getting so big. And Bob spent 2 days down in Oregon with Bryn's kids. Well, Bryn and Danny took Rook to Teddy Swims, and she had just a second grader in the absolute. She loved it. She had so much fun. Anyway, Teddy Swims does his very family friendly concerts from what I was told. So that's good. She had a good time. But anyway, I have got my camera gear almost. It's my last thing I'm packing. I've been looking for something that I can't find, but I'll make do without it. I've got my art bag packed and ready. Got all my clothes in the van, and Bob's too. We got the food packed and the refrigerator cooling. He's got that packed. He's taking care of that. I'm very lucky. Yes, I know. He does all that. We've got our trip planned out generally. Glacier outside of Yellowstone. We're just going to go visit my nephew, Matt, and stay with him. And that'll be fun. Haven't seen him in a couple, 3 years at least. So that will be fun. But yeah. So stay tuned. Just keep watch for alerts. Have, alerts up and I'll get there. But premiere on Sunday for you guys. And on the next Thursday too for a premiere too, because I have a feeling if I'm in Glacier, I know that there is no coverage, and if I'm on the edge of Yellowstone, I know there's no coverage, and Cody is right where we might be staying, is right on the edge of Yellowstone, and it's also in the Rocky Mountains, and so the cell coverage is not the best. So who knows where we are. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much. I'm glad it's your happy place. And take care of that hand and get it looked at. My friend Alessandra, that is, she's part of the British Clarinet Ensemble. She's lives in Connecticut or in New Hampshire, but she goes and lives and has a place in Leeds where she goes and plays for them, and had just come. She had just done a recording. They recorded some for an album or songs or something like that. She'd done some concerts over there. She was walking through the garden in her place at Leeds, and she tripped and fell, and she broke multiple bones in her hand, and had to come back here to the States to have the specialists who like work on supreme athletes' hands and stuff to do the surgery and whatnot on her hand. So I'm going to see her at the end of this month. Poor thing. Talk about rough thing. Anyway, yeah, but she's all into her therapy and it should get better. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. All right, you guys, that's it. Linda, you take care of that shoulder. Tamara, you take care of your hands. Lupe, if you're watching and lurking, it's always lovely to have you here. And those of you who are joining in the afterplay, sorry you couldn't be here live, but thank you for joining us on the replay. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and hit that notification so you don't miss any of the other ones. There's a whole raft of them in the playlists of Story and Art or Keeping It Real. And they go back 4 years. So if you're ever bored and you need a story or 2 or 3, or you just want to laugh at somebody going live and doing silly things or talking to friends, this is the place to be. I will enjoy my adventures, and I will try to drop in and drop little tidbits where I am and what we're doing and how this. Fortunately, I have my sisters coming over to watch our house, and Patty and her childhood friend, Marietta, who she's known since kindergarten, are going to come stay for a bit here. My sister Sarah's going to drop in. The neighbors are all, around and about. It's just wonderful. So they're taking care of everything. Yeah. So everybody, thank you so much for being here and for being part of Story and Art. And until next time, keep looking for the beauty hidden in plain sight. It's all around you. But the first place you'll find it is when you go look in your own mirror. And I'll see you next time.
In the heat of the night, we could get lost in all the lights and sounds. Feeling alright, we won't go home, we will just stay here downtown. There's not just stars on the boulevard, they're in the light in your eyes. Oh, we don't need no black cards, I just need you by my side. We could be shameless, famous, running cool with a love that